Perfect. So, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for joining the webinar with us today, 18th March 2022. 2 p.m. We're doing the topic Document Management Simplified. So I'd like to get started with saying today's topic or webinar is not accredited for any CPD. But however, I don't want to disappoint you. We have a webinar, CPD webinar coming up next Friday. So it's going to be pretty important. It's about Law Society report submission. Must be very helpful for all of you for the 31st of March. So I request you to make a note on your calendar about this. Of course, you'll be sent reminders a couple of days earlier. And yeah, so today's topic is Document Management Simplified. Once again, we're going to be discussing how to store documents in uLaw and what are the third-party providers that we use, that we integrate with in order to store all the documents from your computer. So before I get started with the demo, I'd like to walk you through a little bit of presentation, discuss a few things. And if you have any questions, I request you to use the chat window here and put out all your questions. I will certainly respond to it towards the end of this webinar. And I also have my support team colleague here who can also take a few questions, but we prefer to keep it to the end so that we don't interrupt the conversation unless and until somebody cannot hear me. Please, don't wait for it. In case you don't hear my voice, go ahead, put it on the chat and I'll pick it up from there. Perfect. So let me start sharing. So the main agenda, or rather the agenda for today, is document management. And by the meaning document management, how are we going to store the documents through cloud? So you all know uLaw being a cloud-based platform. We offer the document management services. Can you unmute me? Unfortunately, Marina, I won't be able to do that. As long as you can hear me, if there's something that you'd like to say, you could put it up on the chat. Sorry for that. But since the session is being recorded for others to view it later, I request you, I can give you a call or, I can contact you after the session, but I won't be able to unmute you. You could definitely put it up on the chat, whatever you have, and we can pick it up from there. Thank you, and sorry about that. Thank you. All right, so we're going to look into a few key players who cater to the document management solution with uLaw. One of them being we cater to Google Drive and OneDrive with uLaw. So these are the key players for this specific purpose. But apart from OneDrive and Google Drive, we have Dropbox also. However, uLaw integrates only with Google Drive and OneDrive. So not to confuse it, or rather confuse you, to keep it very simple, these are the key players, but uLaw integrates with only two of them, one being Google Drive and one being OneDrive. We will definitely see how Google Drive works because my account is connected to Google Drive. I'm going to walk you through that in a little while. And once your accounts are connected, how does it help? So these are typically pretty cost effective. Most of them come for free. Google Drive being the best. In fact, like you see, they come for free for say 15 GB, whereas OneDrive for 5 GB. And you could access your documents. The best part with having your documents on these cloud platforms is you could access it from anywhere, literally. Could be from your office, from your home, from client's place. You don't have to literally carry all those big hard disks or pen drive. And these are more secure too because they all have their security system, security settings applied to the login credentials. So they're pretty secure. They all have automated backups. And the main reason we have opted for the couple of vendors or platforms that we integrate with, which is G Drive and OneDrive, are because most of them also use Gmail and Microsoft Office 365 for their emails, right? So this helps to download the document from your end while you're accessing an email directly into the drive, and you could just bring that into uLaw swiftly. This process, even though I'm explaining it detailed, it doesn't take more than a few seconds. Trust me, you'll see it when I'm doing it, okay? So it's very seamless. That's what I mean. So you could, and there'll be multiple folders that gets created, and you could save all these documents accordingly. When I say multiple folders, you will see folders that are specific to accounts and that are specific to matters, right? So when you are dealing with a client-related information that you'd like to specify for a client and download their, let's say, retainer agreement or driver's license, and put this in their folder in uLaw, uLaw has a specific folder automatically created in your drive for this client. I'll again walk you through all of this in detail when I'm doing it, but bottom line of the story, there are two service providers that we access with. One is G Drive, another one is OneDrive. That being said, I'm just going to move on to the next slide to see what it is. So I have a small chat. Let me quickly say, okay, thank you, Marina. Thank you for understanding. I will certainly contact you after this session. You could send me a chat privately with your details, or I could pick it up from our records and reach out to you. Thank you. All right. So so there are also some disadvantages. I don't want to be very talking about only the pros, but there are also some cons behind using a document management through cloud, right? You definitely need internet. Without internet, you couldn't download the documents from your email. You cannot upload as well, right? And there is a storage limit. Like you see for OneDrive, you have about 5 GB only allowed. And beyond that, obviously, you have to purchase, pay and purchase. So there are some incremental pricing plans attached or associated with each of these providers. You just have to do a little bit of shopping around to see what suits your needs best and go with it. And the third point here prescribed is governed by providers' SLAs. So it's about maintenance reports. So you need to make sure that these are complied with the support system. So make sure that G Drive and OneDrive gives you that support in case their system is down, because you need to access your documents and you cannot wait for their system to be down. So you just have to make sure the SLA talks about maintenance support and it's being governed by that. And lastly, there's always a lack of control if in case, let's assume your assistant or your maybe your bookkeeper or accountant also has access to this drive, right? You're going to share a specific document with them, and you have to just make sure you're going to be sharing the link of that specific document you want them to see and not the entire drive access. So that could be like a key point that you could make note of. And these are the cons. Like I said, everything that you take has its own pros and cons. Everything comes with its own problems. So you just have to make sure to work around it. So this is another thing that I wanted to talk about. And there are a bunch of these pricing plans that's available. I could probably send you all the email if you cannot, obviously, I think you cannot copy this or take a screenshot of this slide. I'll be happy. You can always go and type in the respective browser links on your browser, or if any of you need any further details, you can always contact us on support@ulawpractice.com, and we'll be happy to give you a call and explain this or help you set up one. All right, next one that I'm going to talk about is Google Drive with uLaw. Okay, so there's typically no password here for you to share, and it's all a one-time setup. And you just have to literally authorize and refresh in order to allow your system to connect with uLaw, rather allow your Google Drive to connect with uLaw. And you each time want to upload a document into your Google Drive, all that you're going to do is click on the document, drag and drop it into your folder in Google Drive. So just gets organized accordingly. And let's quickly take a look at how this is done. I don't want to do just only the talking. We could also see a little bit of demonstration here on how it works. Okay. So first of all, you have to make sure that your settings on the top, where beside your name, whatever it says, mine is a practice account, guys. So even though my name is not Daniel Gray, my name is Gayatri. I belong to uLaw Client Success Team. I'm sure many of you would have known me in the past whenever I had a chat for some support or other demo purposes. But yes, your regular webinar, presenter, Mr. Praveen, is away. He should be back next week for you all to probably hear something useful. But yes, I'm just filling in the gap. So yeah, coming back to the point. Hello, Daniel Craig. Besides that, you're going to see settings. I'm sure most of you would have got the settings earlier to change your password at least. And beside that, you see Matter. Matter tab has specifics as to what you want to align with your, with your own settings. And one such thing is this Matter documents that you see here. So I have probably assigned my Matter documents, right? Whatever I collect for a client, or even my accounting documents. So basically, my documents that I configured for Google Drive, right? So you have options here. Google Drive and OneDrive are the ones that we are currently associating with. So once you select that and you hit on save, okay, you would be able to, let's say, for example, I'm going to do none and then save, and then everything is out of the, settings. So now you go back in here. Probably have to go to dashboard to refresh the settings, and then go back into settings over here, go to Matter, and then you go back into the Matter documents. That's probably way to the bottom, if I'm not wrong. Just give me 1 second. Going to pull it up here. Currently set it up as none. Yes, here. Then I do it as Google Drive, and then I save it. So it directly connects with uLaw's Google Drive, right? Or rather, my account Google Drive that is associated with my email ID. And then you go back into a Matter. Let's say, for example, I have already created a Matter here for Jordan Smith this morning for some reason. And when I was doing this demo, I just felt I have a bunch of documents. I'm going to click on the Documents tab that I want to upload. Okay, all that I'm going to do is authorize, and then it's going to open my drive for the first time. And you have to obviously enter your sign-in details. And then you're going to refresh, or rather open the drive, and the drive gets opened up. So now you see all these folders that I have earlier created for my own purpose, okay? So now, amongst all of these, you'll see a uLaw practice folder over here. So this is something that uLaw just created for you as soon as you synchronized with Google Drive, and you allowed permission, logged in, and you just said, I'm authorizing uLaw to log into my Google Drive. And then here we are with the uLaw practice folder automatically created. And you also have 2 subfolders if you see. So these subfolders are respectively for accounting purpose and for matter purpose. So when I mean accounting, it could be for your general accounts, right? Matter are basically related to the specific client documents. And you might have your own documents, right? Like, for example, you've downloaded 2021's reports from uLaw's accounting platform, right? Like from the accounting screen, rather. You have a bunch of documents that you've downloaded. You don't have to worry about, keeping it on your desktop or keeping it on, your emails, etc. You rather just download these and put them in your drive, drag and drop them into your drive right under uLaw practice accounts folder for 2021 or 2022 respectively. This is something I always recommend my clients, my own clients who I do demos for. I tell them that please try and utilize to the maximum possible to keep all your records safe, because you never know what kind of records or documentation that you would be asked to show if you are being audited. Right? So I'm not trying to scare you guys, but, it's definitely very important to save every piece of paper that you have as part of, your records. Okay, so that's the purpose of accounts subfolder that you see here. But uLaw also created matter. Since we are talking about matter documents, let me just go into this matter and show you there's already several files created here, but I only clicked on one. All right. Right now I only clicked on for Jordan Smith, but these are all some things that I clicked as authorize and open folder earlier. So every time you click on authorize and open drive for a matter, uLaw automatically creates that file over here. So I have already created so many earlier. That is the reason it's showing up. But maybe if you're doing it for the first time, you're going to only see one folder that you just clicked on open drive and opened over here. Okay, so right now we're talking about Jordan Smith. So it's always good to note the file number here on the top, JS951503. Go in here and you would see the same file number, JS951503. So it definitely picks up uLaw file number, even though if you had your own file number entered somewhere here in the description or title, etc., it picks up only this file number on the top. Okay, so remember that. Go into your drive and look for that folder here. You see JS951503. So now I have a bunch of documents sitting in my desktop. I could either click on file upload and bring all of them over here. Let's say I have some checks, I have some, Jordan Smith's conflict screening, Form 9A, invoices, retainer letter, right? I want to make sure to bring all of them into uLaw. I just literally click, drag, drop it here. And if you're doing something from the email as well, you can literally go in there and bring it into your drag and drop it in here. So right now I have 4 files that I just got uploaded in here, or I just uploaded into this drive here. And once I'm done here, I will go back into uLaw and just simply click on refresh button over here. The moment I click refresh, you see all the 4 files that got uploaded into my drive is now connected and brought into uLaw also. So now this is all you have to do. So tomorrow you have Jordan Smith visiting you, and maybe you want to verify some of his details. Maybe let's say his invoice. You have probably not printed his invoice, or you have to probably look into the drive or reprint it from the invoice over here, right? We all do that. We all misplace invoices and try to reprint the one that I've already raised. But instead, if it is over here in the matter, you just have to go to the documents, go to invoice and click on it, and it gets uploaded here for you to view further. Okay? But sometimes people like to put it for their if they've collected a driver's license or for their retainer letter, any document that's in regards to their client can be brought into the respective matter folder and can be simply refreshed and brought into uLaw's drive as well. So this is probably the major part of demonstration today. where you have to probably understand how, the uLaw and your Google Drive is synchronized, and how probably the documents are uploaded, and the difference between your Matter tab here or the Accounts tab, and what can you basically use this accounting tab for, and so on and so forth. So I think in the last 15-20 minutes, I've pretty much shown you the most important part of the Matter documents. So I'd like to take a quick pause here to understand if you all have any questions. If you've understood, you want me to repeat any part of, setting up the drive under Matter tab here or anything, just let me know. I'll take a quick pause here to see if there are any questions, and we can proceed further if you have any queries. I understand you all seem to be silent because I've muted you all, of course, but please feel free to use the chat box, and my teammate is here as well, so if there's anything she could pitch in as well, so please go ahead. If you all don't have questions, either you have understood my demonstration pretty well, or I have a question regarding the refresh. Yes, Citizen, go ahead. Does it work with Google Workspace? Yes, of course. I'm on a Google Workspace too, Bruce, so you can see my account is working on Google Workspace. In fact, I would say Google Workspace is going to be much simpler and easier because one, it's all, probably secured, more secure than the usual Google network that we all use. And number two, if in case you have shared drive with your assistant, coworker, it's easier to bring in the docs. That's the idea. That's a different process, Bruce. I can probably give you a call and discuss about that. But yes, that's pretty simple. I can do that over a quick call with you after the session, okay? Thank you. Ibsen, I see that you have a question regarding the refresh. So do you want to understand how the refresh works? Okay. I'll wait for your question. In the meantime, I'm just going to quickly refresh the refresh. Okay, so just bear with my nonsense for today. I think I've been on back-to-back calls. Okay, so the refresh button is basically for you to, let me probably try to walk you through one other matter which doesn't have documents here. Perfect. So if you take K. Michael's matter, it doesn't have any documents you see under the Documents tab, right? So for the very first time when you have connected to Google Drive from settings, right, you want to test your drive. You really want to make sure that it's working. So you go into Matters and you first have to authorize and open the drive. Once you authorize, you're going to sign into your drive. You're going to use the same password, same login credentials. It will in fact show the very same page. Unfortunately, I'm not able to bring up the sign up page because mine is already connected. I tried to sign out and sign in back, but it's not allowing me. So bottom line of the story, it is the same credentials that you're using to enter the information, right? While you're logging in. So once you log in, you're going to, just have to authorize, and then you're going to refresh. But before you refresh, you're going to open the drive and go into uLapractice folder and go to Matter, look for case file. Right? Case file number is KM669055. You go into the Matter and you look for KM665 669055. Right? Just have to simply click there and drag and drop some files. So I'm just uploading. It's something that I have from my previous time. So I'm just uploading what I have in there, and I open it over here, and it gets uploaded. And once it gets uploaded, you would probably go back into uLaw, click on refresh, and see all the folder documents rather you've uploaded into that folder comes up over here. So the instant the refresh button is only basically because whatever you have uploaded in your drive needs to be refreshed, and once you refresh, it will show up in the uLaw documents tab here. That's it. Very simple. Okay. So the key point is actually the refresh button, because a lot of them actually have reached out to us saying, hey guys, I have set up my Google Drive or OneDrive. Everything looks good. I, in fact, went in, opened my, uLaw practice folder, matter, have uploaded tons of documents into that specific file, right? Folder rather. All the files are in there, but I don't see it under my uLaw tab. And I'll be like, hey, did you hit the refresh button? Yes, so the refresh button definitely is the key point here. Make sure, of course, you're going to click on refresh in order to show up all the documents that you've uploaded in your drive. Sounds good? Is this clear, or you have anything more? Perfect. Okay, so if there's anything more, I'll give you a call, definitely. Don't worry. I anyways owe Bruce a call, so I wouldn't mind giving you a call as well. So I'll be happy to do that. Okay. It does not work for you? Okay. I will have to probably check on that, and, I'll give you a call. Don't worry. I'll certainly share the screen and work along with you on that. And if there's anything beyond that, we can always take our technical team assistance. Okay. All right. Thank you so much. So just to quickly look at something that my client success associate is sharing here. She has a small announcement for you all. So if you've all not signed up yet or decided to go with one of the payment collection partners with uLaw, this is the right time, guys, because LawPay is currently offering a $150 account credit as soon as you sign up, and of course, once you do the first transaction through them, and within somewhere between 45 to 60 days, you're credited with a $150 account credit. So yes, I definitely suggest you all to take a look at, because with all this pandemic and things going crazy, you never know when the remote work will probably how long it will prolong. But this payment application app or payment collection app is definitely very helpful to collect payments from your client. You just have to send them an invoice with the link, and it helps. I don't want to take much of time talking about it, because we have a separate webinar on how payment collection apps work. If at all any of you from today's webinar are interested to know about LawPay or any collection apps, payment collection apps, you can reach out to support@ulawpractice.com. Okay? Perfect. Let me continue with a little bit more of reading here. I just want to make sure I've covered pretty much all about the Google Drive. It's a very short session. I don't want to keep it too long and bore you, but we have to make sure how the usage works around here. So the document management, apart from storing the document, you can also, make sure to keep adding the space that you have in there with all the other necessary, like I said. For example, I also want to show you one other thing. Part of this demo is the documents under accounts tab that we were discussing about. So let's assume I generated a few documents from my accounting tab. Let's say I downloaded probably my HST report for this quarter. Okay, the simplest one, and we're all looking forward to it. So let's download a HST report, and I'm going to put that in my, of course, it gets downloaded to my computer. And once it gets downloaded download it to my computer, you can very simply, bring it into uLaw by clicking on the Documents tab. So you go back into uLaw, Accounting folder, Documents under it, open the drive. So this time it opens up under the Accounts section here, right? So you have to go into the Accounts section. Let's say this is for 2022. It also creates for each month. For the month, since you are in the month of March and you're downloading it for the month of March, you can upload the file into the March folder that you just downloaded, this HST payable or receivable document. So it gets uploaded right here, and go back into your uLaw, click on refresh, and you would be able to see the document here. So you don't have to each time, again, the same issue that you face with, let's say you've misplaced an invoice. You might have misplaced the document generated from HST on 10th of March, but when you're looking for it on 31st of March, you're not able to find it on your desktop or your downloads. So that's the reason you connect to Drive immediately and upload it here. So when you need it, you go into the Accounts folder and just, you could just download it again from here. As simple as that. Okay. All right. So those are the two important things we probably wanted to discuss today. So the process with OneDrive, guys, is the same. With OneDrive, it works exactly the same way. It is just that under settings, instead of Google Drive, you have to set it up as Microsoft OneDrive, right? Okay. So I think we've pretty much come to end. I know today was a pretty short session, but like I said, this is a very short topic that we had to discuss. But before you all, probably want to leave, I have one quick cover announcement about refer your friend. So we are running a campaign for a while now called Refer a Friend. So if you all have any friends who are currently looking to get a practice management software and make sure they're going to be entering all their data and their books are going to be updated, there's still time. We have 15-20 days time, or rather let's say 10 to 12 days time before 31st of March. Even though we have very short time, we have teams that we work on to help them update their details, of course, at a little small cost, where our bookkeeping team is there. We have our migration team into uLaw. And we also have other, I can help too. So if at all you have friends who are interested and who you think will be interested, please do ask them to register from our website. You could also register on their behalf, where there's a link for refer a friend, and you could refer their details and we can get in touch with them. But if there's anybody else who's attending this webinar today and is not a uLaw user, I request you to sign up for the trial from our website, ulaw.io, and there's a 30-day free trial. Please sign up for it, and I'm sure a lot of you here have benefited from the trials, from the demos that we give, and from the extensive support that my support team, I have to mention about our support team. We work literally around the clock, and we make sure that, you're being supported enough. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Make sure you spread the word, more the merrier, and we'll be a happy uLaw family to have more. And this is definitely a right time if anyone's looking to move from another solution or start using a solution for the first time. So we all need we need all your help and support. So please try and pass on a word. And if you have any other questions, I welcome you all to share the questions over here on the chat, or send it to support@ ulawpractice.com. Okay, so that's pretty much it for today. Thank you all for joining the webinar once again. This is not accredited to any CPD awards, unfortunately, but we are more than happy to give you a CPD award next week. Same time, 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. Will be conducted by my colleague, Mr. Praveen. So you're all done with me for the 2 weeks. So I'm sure that CPD is going to be helpful for a lot of you all, because the 31st of March Law Society report submission date is coming closer, and the 25th of March is going to be pretty helpful for all of you, 5 days before the submission date. So please try and attend the webinar at 2 p.m. next week. And any questions, I welcome you all to send it to support@ulawpractice.com. And thank you all once again. That's it. I'm going to stop the recording here so that we can keep it a little short for once hearing it for the first time.